welcome you to the Nelson's Dockyard. Now, this is all built in 1745. It was used as a careening station as well as a hurricane refuge. It bears the name of the British Admiral Lord Horatio Nelson, who was only 26 when he came to Antigua. Now, the entrance that we passed through our gates, that was always kept closed and heavily guarded to keep unauthorized persons out as well as keep the workers in. Now, in order to obtain laborers needed for the dockyard, the Navy would have bribed the bartenders from around the world to get the customers drunk. The customers were knocked out, tied up, put on a ship, and brought here to work. Now, they were forced to work from sunrise until sunset, with only 2 days off a year. Now, along with long hours, they had many rules to abide by, such as no cats, no dogs, no foreigners, and no women were allowed. Now, they believed women were spies, bad luck, disease carriers, and also major distractions, but times have changed and women are allowed in the docket today, and it's actually a woman runs all this now, so Now, all the yellow bricks you see around the area, these are brought all the way from London. They came as ballast in exchange for sugar and rum. Now, the building itself was once called the Copper and Lumber Store. Sheets of copper and lumber were stored downstairs. Upstairs was where the sailors stayed once their ships were repaired. That is now the Copper and Lumber Hotel, Restaurant and Bar. And every Fridays there's a massive seafood festival out right there. Now, the tall palm tree, that is the royal palm, planted by Queen Elizabeth II in 1966. And the one behind it with the fan shape, that is the traveler's palm. Now, the large white building here, this was once called the Admiral's House because rumored to be a Lord Nelson stayed, but the rumor, it was untrue. Now, since he was unpopular because he enforced the Navigation Act, which forbade American ships to trade with British men, he had his own shipping for his life, and the building was also built 50 years after he died, so it's quite impossible for him to stay there. So it's now the museum, the gift shop, and further behind, it is the Dockyard's bakery. So we're gonna head to the next stop. So everyone, let's head this way. Right here, this is where the careening process took place. So an 18th century battleship would have docked alongside there. The men would have gone into the ship to move any heavy object to make sure it's light as possible. The mass of the ships would be tied to the three blockhead structures here. These are called capstans. Now, 60 men would have pushed the capstans one direction, causing the ship tilt on one side. The men would go out, scrape off the barnacles with a bit of copper and also paint. The ship is then released back into the water, and to clean the other side, the capstans are pushed in the opposite direction. The only problem with the process, it took 6 months to repair one ship, and reason why, it's because the men were always drunk. They received a gallon of beer or a pint of rum for each working day's payment in the small building right behind you, and nothing hasn't really changed because it's now a liquor store now. But even though the men were drunk, the process on here in English Harbor gave the British a huge advantage over the enemy, whereas the enemy had to go all the way home just to repairs. The British simply had their repairs done right here, so their forces were always intact and also ready for battle. Okay, so guys, now that has brought me to the end of my tour. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Scotland we have. Levi store. One place I saw somebody had sold half a dozen cigarettes.
And if you haven't tried out the signature drinkers here, guys, feel free, hit up the bartender. You can use my name and take the blend. Tell them Mario send you over. We have the world's famous rum runner. Trust me, and I'm talking from experience. It's really nice. Yeah?
Thank you, love.
Hey.
They're going to bake with me.